for Libra, and this will be for September 2025. Okay, sorry guys. I'm just going to go through all the cards. If you're new to my read the cards, I'll do the individual cards, and then we will take you through all of the specific clarifiers following and just get their meanings. So right now what I'm looking at is the Knight of Pentacles. So it does feel as though this is a more slow, of course, it's a slow moving energy. So we are looking at slow, methodical, practical. You know, this is the person who really is working hard, diligent, slow, steady growth, and it's more of a long-term sort of strategy towards something. But it's definitely reliability, and and because I should mention, I more specifically mentioned that this part will be around your finances. We'll kind of gear it that way. So right off the bat, like I said, your finances seem to be in a strong focus, but it certainly looks pretty good, actually, as what I would say for the month of September. Like I said, Knight of Pentacles in the month of September does some steady progress with your finances. It's smart strategizing, and you know, there could even be something of an opportunity here, but I feel like you are preparing yourself for something because the Knight of Pentacles is action around finances. The Four of Pentacles is definitely having money to work with, hanging on to it, you know, but slowly building it. But then there's this action card of Eight of Wands. So something communication is coming in very rapidly, and this could be around something that you're trying to manifest. And of course, we do see, you know, the magician has all the tools to make something happen. So it feels like it's in around a manifestation that something very quickly is coming into play. So what I would say there is that you're moving cautiously, practically, but you have the tools and the power to make a breakthrough this month if you just keep your focus and all of that. You're working hard, you're staying consistent. It definitely is, again, slow, steady, dependable money here. But I feel like you might be paying off old debts, building savings, that kind of thing, especially with the Knight practicality here. And again, holding on to the resources. So there's something there around those two that does speak to, you know, not taking unnecessary risk. I would also say that it indicates a fear of financial instability. So you are, you know, you've got a bit of a scarcity mindset. But again, there is something here with the Eight of Wands coming in that it's talking about an acceleration of an opportunity that's coming in. And again, it's something you're trying to manifest with the Magician here. So I feel like whatever this is, you use your skills, your voice, your ideas, whatever it is, it's something here financially that you want that is going to be here pretty quick. So what I will also say, now again, that's finances are looking really good, and there's definitely something you're trying to manifest that is showing some strong promise there. What I also will say is, you know, again, your overall outlook for the month of September does seem to be steady and cautious. There is a surge or an opportunity or something that appears unexpectedly, I would say as well, that's coming in for you, and you want to act with confidence and seize it. But I feel like the key to balancing that out will be practicality and then bold action. So again, don't fear holding back. Um, you know, don't block your potential gains is also what I would say there. Um, Again, it's also kind of telling yourself just to use your resources wisely, that kind of thing, and do things with some discipline. Now, I would also say that in terms of projects, and that's where I asked this here with the Six of Swords, um, there is something here with the Six of Swords, the Five of Swords. This is about projects. So Seven of Cups, whatever you're working on, Six of Cups, Three of Swords, the Knight of Wands, Page of Cups. What I would say there is you're in a space of um, something that's emotionally significant to you with the Eight of Cups. And not only is it significant, but I feel like it's tied to your past, which was the Six of Cups in there. So it's emotional, it's tied to your past. It's also a personal healing process that you've been going through with whatever it is you're doing. So not only that, you're also in a transitional period. So it looks like something that um, you're moving through something that is also kind of emotionally cluttering you as well. With the Five of Swords, the Seven of Cups, there's some kind of emotional clutter, and the Three of Swords in there. So there's something that kind of tells me that you're working through some emotional clutter or creative confusion. So you're reconnecting with that original spark, which is the Page of Cups, Six of Cups. So there's something there that, like I said, there's creative highs, emotional lows, bursts of motivation, with that Knight of Wands. And then there's disappointment with the Three of Swords, and there's mental conflict, with the Six of Swords. So it's like there's kind of this back and forth energy here. And I feel like part of you is emotionally, especially if you're committed to or have a sense of emotional detachment. And hi there, Lindsay. No, I don't play Fortnite. Although I do know of that. I have a son. Right. Uh, but anyway, but yeah, like I was going to say, this is, it's a necessary kind of letting go of the project to maybe kind of emotionally release yourself from, any unfulfilling aspects. So there's something here, like I said, that needs to be more of a fresh, playful energy that's trying to emerge. And I feel like you're emotionally sensitive, and that's why I see this burst of motivation, and there's energy, and it's possibly driven by that strong emotional or personal sort of theme of some sort, but it's inconsistent. And I feel like you need the discipline to sort of channel it and get yourself focused, that kind of thing. That's what I would say there. Because even with the Three of Swords that came up there and the Five of Swords, those to me kind of speak to emotional clutter. And it's almost like there's too much maybe in being said, or too much that's underlying, but it's an inability or something that's affecting you. It's affecting your personal, maybe this is heartbreak that is causing some kind of an emotional block, but something is affecting you personally with your project, and it's caused some kind of a wound. But maybe your project is helping you work through that. It could also be that too. But I feel like, again, the project's tied to your past or your childhood or old memories or nostalgia, and you're reconnecting with that. But at the same token, there's just some things here that are still evolving. And again, there's some blockages, but I still see a lot of movement, and I still see a lot of inspiration. And I definitely feel like it's, kind of, again, removing some of the emotional clutter, the things that are in the way. As far as your emotions go, in terms of a connection, I feel like there's a lot of energy around there. Now, the King of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords. So here it is, the Queen of Swords, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. It's definitely somebody that has more of that energy of, oh, I don't know. Right. That would be a top secret sort of thing. Hi, Ahmed. Yeah, I'm not privy to that information. But anyway, what I would say is, like I said, the Queen of Swords is all about that energy of, still being standoffish. Like I don't, queens are more receptive. They sort of take in that information, but it could also be in a sense of, sometimes there's some harsh words or something here where things are blunt. In terms of a connection, like I said, what I see there is there's some boundaries. I do feel like there's a lot of independence. Thank you for the hearts. Appreciate it. But I definitely feel like there is something here about direct communication. So it's where things are very objective. You just deal with things on the basis of, solving problem. There's a lot of self-reliance. There's, not really opening up with the feelings so much. It's more along the lines of, not incredibly warm, just communicating in a solid, articulate way without, disrupting things. So then we also have the King of Wands. So there's something here, again, in regards to this connection. There's a lot of mature energy here. So I would say that even with the King of Wands, this is telling me that there is somebody who could be, and again, some of these can blend together, but the King of Wands, the energy of showing up with enthusiasm, and somebody who's got a lot of spark. somebody who has a lot, who can draw attention to themselves, you know. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius usually, but I would say that a king is somebody who represents closure as well. So we've got two kings and a queen. So there's a sense of closure or something coming together here, because this is a respected energy, it's a confident energy. So it's almost like there's a releasing of old patterns behavior. And it's almost like, you know, the coupleship or the friendship or the whatever this important relationship is to you is kind of a meeting of the minds, and it's more mature and it's, you know, wise. So the communication is more wise. There's more vision here as well. And, you know, maybe there are elements where there's tempers that could flare, but I just see so much more of this as um, more mature leadership, taking control of a situation. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy, like I said, and it definitely feels like, you know, the communication um, is just very mature in the way it's stated. I know, I like these cards too. I love the owls, actually. I remember my dad had given me, it was a little family of owls, and it was just, yeah, it was something that was really poignant because wise, you know, owls are wise, and, you know, they look after their families, and it's, yeah, really good energy. But anyway, but yeah, what I would say here is in terms of the, it's like there's a lot of an undercurrent of keep things very businesslike. Even with the King of Pentacles here, you know, I'm still getting that energy of professional, you know, practical, responsible. And so even in the way that, you know, you're communicating, it just feels like there's a lot of high standards, controlling sort of energy. Um, it's things along that line. But like I said, I feel, and this is Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus energy. But again, there's just something here that really speaks to um, dealing with each other in a way that has an undercurrent of straightforward, you know, energy, straightforward kind of, like I want to say, I don't want to say uninvolved, but committed. So a committed kind of energy is what I would say there, like a deep level of understanding of each other. So, what I would also say is when there is communication, it's because there's a sense of purpose, there's a reason to talk to one another. So, it's almost like this connection is going through a significant evolution. You know, it's going through a significant evolution or phase of like a significant phase where it's growing into clearer roles. You know, you might be the wise, emotional, you know, energy with the Queen of Swords, and the other one is becoming much more grounded with the King of Pentacles. And then there's sort of a passion driven energy. And then I want to say at the bottom of the deck was the Wheel of Fortune. So, you know, even as an overtone for the whole of this, there is significant changes going on. It's like a major turning point, and it's shifting how you relate to one another into more mature roles. So, you know, one person may be showing up as the emotional anchor here. This one here, you know, the voice of reason in the connection, brings the clarity, has the boundaries, you know, truth, fair, balance, that kind of thing, but deep, thoughtful, protective. And then there's also this other energy of, you know, learning to grow into a stable, responsible, material, grounded, you know, more into, interested in the financial success, you know, where it's beginning to mature and structure and there's reliability. So it's going into that energy. And then, of course, we have a fire sign in here as well. So maybe there's three people involved. I don't know. But I feel like there is a fire or an ambition or a creative energy that's emerging. And there's definitely a lot of independence and leadership qualities showing up here. So a chapter is closing for sure with that Wheel of Fortune energy. And I feel like it's big, the karmic chapter. It's letting go of control, trusting that change is a part of growth, and things are aligning to a greater plan. So the bond is faded. It's not random. It's mutual growth and maturity. There are changing roles going on here. I feel like you're both being guided to kind of a larger life cycle. And I feel like there's more strength without needing constant closeness in this situation. So the love is present here, even if the communication is just practical or surface or emotionally reserved at times. But there is a lot going on there that's still rich and, you know, multi layered. But overall, like I said, I feel like the overall tone of everything is slow but purposeful progress, just across the whole of everything, not just for this aspect. It's, steady effort. I feel like there is some creativity going on here in this month where there's a lot of deep reflection for sure, flashes of inspiration that's coming in there, and that's with this combination. But moving away from emotional chaos to more inner guided wisdom, that kind of thing there. And like I said, that transition card is there. But I feel like overall, you're just releasing old emotional attachments. You're reconnecting with more creative joy here as well. That's what the page is. But still a lot of ups and downs to kind of get through some of that emotional baggage. But I feel like it's growing your identity and your role. And I feel like it's more about guidance than control. So, what I mean by that is, things evolve, they don't end. It's not like, even with friendships or relationships, things don't necessarily end. They have the chance to kind of go into a greater cycle, relationally. So, you're at some kind of turning point, where everything is starting to shape how the changes will unfold in this. Thank you, Lindsay. I appreciate that. Um, but like I said, I feel like you're aligning with your next chapter. So you're releasing the resistance here, and that's why there's so much, especially around projects with the Three of Swords up and down and in the mental space there. There's disciplined action, unexpected breakthroughs for sure, emotional release, reconnection with the things that are important to you. You're healing wounds here. And again, with that Three of Swords, Five of Swords, you're healing the wounds from the past through something that you're doing in terms of a project. And I feel like, again, you're leading from wisdom, not fear. So this is practical, creative energy, and you're letting the past teach you. It's not defining you. And that's very important. So stay open to some rapid growth, because the Wheel of Fortune energy tells me there's going to be some rapid growth very soon after September. So, kind of your takeaway there is, stay steady, keep your focus, be intentional on whatever it is you're doing, that you're focusing on. But this Wheel of Fortune is coming in to change everything. It's already in motion. So it is coming. And I would say within the next 1 to 3 months, you're going to see things really, that's more of the outcome of whatever this big change is that's shifting for you. So keep moving forward, people, and never give up. And there was a shirt that I had seen that said, "It's not how good you are, it's how good you want to be," something to that effect. And I should find it and post it again. But I really love that. So your choice, guys, but you're definitely in the running here for something that's very significant that's about to change your life. And again, a lot of ups and downs going on emotionally for you and a clearing in the month of September, but it's all necessary. So until the next read, see you I might do some extra ones in September too. But either way,